from Hot Tub University, and today we're standing in front of Master Spa's factory in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Now folks, if you've been listening to anything I've been saying for the last 10 years, it's always been preaching the same thing. It's how a hot tub should be built to be sustainable, to be reliable, and to be easily repairable. So today, we're here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. We're gonna go inside and we're gonna see how hot tubs should be made. So here we are inside the vac former, and this is where a hot tub is born. What most guys do is they take these sheets of acrylic, they heat them, and they vacuum form them into a mold. But not here. These guys have spent a ton of money on a very special oven that has hundreds of individual heating elements that custom heats each sheet depending on which hot tub they're building. That means they ensure they get a nice, consistent thickness on the draw when they vacuum form that acrylic sheet into the mold. Very few places are doing this. It's a lot of money to make sure that primary layer is a reliable layer and we're not getting too thin on the corners and the edges. As soon as that shell is removed, the very first thing they're doing is applying a coat of vinyl ester resin to all the corners and all the edges. It's then flipped over and it's taken into the fiberglassing area. Now, unlike most manufacturers, these guys are using a product called vinyl ester resin, and it is the most expensive resin you can use to make a hot tub. The reason they use it, it prevents osmosis, which is blistering, which means it's going to make sure that that shell is going to last for decades. It's an expensive procedure, especially when you couple it with hand rolling. So what you're seeing here is a bunch of people rolling out all the air bubbles and ensuring that that fiberglass is adhered to the acrylic properly with no air pockets. There's also two people walking around testing the thickness as they do this. And that's just to make sure that we have a good consistent thickness. Now, they don't do this just once like most manufacturers. They don't even do it twice like some manufacturers. They apply 3 separate layers and they build the heaviest grade shell we have ever seen in the industry. This is a self-supporting hull that requires no props, no supports, can be filled with water just like it is right there, and a bunch of people can jump in it and that shell will hold together and will last forever. It is thousands of dollars more than a cheap shell, because what most guys are doing is blowing one layer of cheap fiberglass and putting a bunch of 2x4 supports under those seats and everything to try and stop that shell from falling apart. And that's why hot tubs end up in the landfill. You don't want your money in the landfill. You want your money in your backyard, and you want to be sitting in it, enjoying it for 20 years down the road. Once it's done, the fiberglass is dried, they start applying the jets. Now this is the newest compression fit jet system. What used to happen in the old days is we used to have to grind the back of the shell and make sure it was flat, and then we'd apply silicone to the inside and silicone to the outside and put a nut on and torque the nut down, but you could never get a torque wrench in there because it was too tight, so you guessed. And this was one of the biggest failure points on hot tubs, jet to shell connection leaks. If that shell jet ever moved in the shell, you'd get a leak. This compression fit system uses a grommet that comes from the aerospace industry. It's about 1/4 inch thick and almost 1 inch wide. Once that's compression fit into the shell, even if the jet housing moves in that shell, it automatically reseals. And that's fantastic because keeping the back of a hot tub dry is critical. Any water, any weeping, any leaking you get in the back of a hot tub is going to start to destroy that hot tub. Most plumbing systems are junk, but when you can take a compression fit system like that and then spend $1 million a year to hand clamp all your plumbing lines, you are going to have a hot tub that is very likely never going to leak. And that's what you want, because in behind a hot tub should be bone dry. You should never have water in behind a hot tub. And I'll tell you folks, you're talking again about a lot of money being spent to make sure that that plumbing system is done and done correctly. And most manufacturers aren't doing that. When you see a cheap tub at Costco or Home Depot, this is what you're missing. You're missing the fact that the plumbing system is junk. You're missing the fact that the shell is junk. You're missing the fact that the jetting is right. You know, you're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars taken out of the build quality of a tub. Even things like this. So this frame, if you notice those little steel plates on the joints, those are gussets, and they're the same thing that is used on trusses for roofs on houses. Okay, this holds together really well, where most guys are just knocking a couple nails in or welding up a cheap steel frame. This is a heavy grade 2x4 frame, even though the shell's self-supporting and doesn't rely on that frame to hold it together. It's crazy. Everything is so over-engineered on these hot tubs, and it's why these hot tubs last so well. So after that, we're going into the water test phase, and these tubs are water tested for about an hour. They run each tub. So many factories where on the test phase there are failures and kickbacks into production. These guys, man, everything goes through the factory, then almost nothing comes out of the test bench back into the factory. It's all, by the time it gets onto a test bench, because of the build standard, they're just a very, very reliable tub right out of the gate. It then goes over to a foaming system, and again, this is a huge cost, folks. Lots of people are just wrapping a little bit of mylar insulation or putting a little perimeter foam backing on their hot tubs. When we talk about insulation, don't listen to the marketing from some meathead marketing guy. Trust the science. Trust the proven industries. Look at the housing industry. In the northern U.S. and Canada, you can't even get a permit to build a house unless you hit at least R20 to R25. So some marketing guy telling you that using less insulation is somehow a better idea, it's just nonsense. It's misinformation marketing. So this foam is a specialty foam that's sprayed into the tub. It fills all the little nooks and crannies and gives you an incredibly high R value. The beauty of this product is it's also never hardens up. It's a special foam for this application. That means if you ever do get leaks down the road, they're easy to find and easy to fix and easy to refoam. Don't settle on insulation. Even if you're in a climate that has fairly warm weather, you're still losing a lot of heat from a tub that's at 104 degrees. So make sure that your tub's got a full foam insulation system, and make sure that insulation is the type of insulation designed for the purpose. If you're using a high density foam, and you ever do get a leak, it's almost impossible to find them and repair them. So this is a more expensive process, it's a better quality product, but the end result is you get a super well insulated hot tub, and it's easily repaired if you ever have a leak happen. They then do the finishing touches, the skirt's applied, they're wrapped and they're rolled and they're ready to go. All right, so we're standing here with Marco outside of Master Spas, and Marco, you've been here quite a while.
About 4 years now.
Nice. So what's it like working here at Master Spas?
Oh, it's great. I mean, it's a wonderful place to work. I came in production manager here. Had to pick up a lot of things really quick, but it's a great environment, great employees, a great atmosphere.
Nice. One of the things I really noticed, aside from building hot tubs here, everybody had a smile on their face. There's guys bopping around and dancing, and it didn't feel like the kind of place where people are doing a 9-to-5 job going, God, I can't wait to get out of here.
Sure, yeah. I mean, one of our core values is have fun. And we build spas, for a living, and it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And why not make it fun?
Well, great. We've had a great time here. We've had some, met some really wonderful people. And Marco, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having us by, and keep up the good work.
Thanks for coming out.
All right, have a great day, guys. Chris Wheatley, Hot Tub University, signing off from Master Spas. Have a great day.